All right, today I'm out here checking out this, and today I want to talk to you about planting your fescue seeds and what's the best time to plant it. And usually that comes down to spring and fall, but it also comes down to temperature. And believe me, you're going to have some pitfalls in each time, either spring or fall. They both got their own issues, and also it may require you to do both seasons in order to get a fully established lawn. Before we get into all of that, look at all the germination. This is day 8. This is a Monday, and I did it on a last Saturday. This is day 8. Also, this is the update on the shaded, complete shade, 100% shaded area. Having issues up in here right here, but I've been using this grow light to see if I can get it to work. Now this area here, I'm seeing barely getting germination. Got some, but it is so slowly to come about. But I'm getting some germination, and keep in mind, I seeded this in August. And I'm also checking out, I'm getting some new, not as much as I had before. Still getting some holes being dug. So still got some issues with skunks. So I'm going to try some other measures. I already tried to kill some of the stuff out there with bifenthrin. I know I'm probably going to hit some dialox, put it out, and probably some other deterrent out on the lawn to try to keep those skunks at bay. Overall, I would say it's somewhat of successful overseed in August in Texas, which leads me to when is the best time to plant your seeds. Look, if you don't know, fescue has 2 growing seasons, and that's that's the spring and the fall. And the deal with planting fall overseeding, you're trying to get the grass established and growing before the first frost. You want to get that, you're in a time restraint. You're trying to get this grass up and done before it freezes. So that's one of the first things you're trying to do. That's why when you get it up and going, like I just showed you, that is where you're wanting to get as much nitrogen on there. And that's why I was doing the things that I'm doing to try to grow that grass quick as possible before the first frost. Now, in the springtime, you're getting the grass established, and you're trying to get it as grown as possible, as big and thick and deep roots as possible to deal with the heat. And if you start in the fall, all of that growth between fall and the next summer, your grass has a considerable amount of time to establish and be grown to deal with heat. So that's great. But now let's come into the problems that you have with the different seasons. The biggest deal on the fall, besides getting this grass to be, strong enough to deal with the winter, fungus. Fungus is a big issue, and you really can't use fungicide, not even neem oil. This fungicides will play a big part in the development of your seeds and the germination. All of it does. Azoxystrobin, propiconazole. Propiconazole is a growth inhibitor anyway. It's best really not to have it on there, but it's hard when you still got warm temperatures and you're throwing out a lot of water out there. So that warm temperature and plus the water needed to get the seeds to grow, you're also growing fungi. So it's hard, and sometimes you don't get full germination, especially if you use some type of fungicide you don't get the full germination. Some of those seeds won't even germinate till the next season, which would be spring. So it's hard trying to get the seeds to germinate in the fall because it still has that summer heat, and then you have to use a whole lot of water in order to get it done. So we already know the moisture plus the heat, humidity, and all that other stuff, that's fungus issue. So that's one issue. That's another issue. That's the second issue. The first issue is trying to get the grass established before the frost. And then the next issue is dealing with fungus. So another issue with dealing with fall is a couple of things, depending on where you are, all those leaves that you got. You got to trample over all the leaves and the grass, the new seedlings and stuff, trying to get up all the leaves that are falling. You got the leaves will inhibit the sunlight from getting down and helping the seeds germinate. It needs sun, so you got to get it up. And now you got to trample on top of it, or maybe, get a leaf blower so you don't have to deal with all the fall. And in my situation, I have to deal with that in the spring because these trees that I have, they drop their stuff in the spring, but they also drop acorns in the fall. They don't inhibit the sun, but it's still got to be trampled over to get the damn acorns up. So that's another issue, is the falling leaves and stuff is another issue, trying to get your stuff germinate, and you may not get full germination because of it. And another issue that you have in the fall is the abrupt temperature changes. And this is probably primarily in the area where I am. This is where this information right here will become more applicable to people who are in areas in the South or the southern half of the transition zone, or just in the South period, who wants to grow grass. You got to treat things a little bit different. You have to treat things a little bit different when dealing with this fescue grass. I've had seasons where we had a freezing day and 100-degree day all in the same month. And it's quite normal. We can have a 90-degree day, which is probably scorching to a lot of you guys, and a freezing day in the same month. It's very easy for us in my area. And then the weather, it just turns all of a sudden, it's just summer, and bam, it's damn near winter. It's like that abrupt change right there. And that cold weather, it stops germination. That colder, that below 60-degree soil temperature, some people say 50, but in my area, it needs to be 65 degrees soil temperature and above for this stuff to really germinate. That abruptness, that quick, and that inconsistency in temperature can affect your seed germination. When I had the 100-degree day and the freezing day all in the same month, that was horrible. Couldn't get the seeds to germinate like I wanted it. And then when spring came around, here we go with some of that germination. So that's going to lead me into the spring. So we already went through the pitfalls of doing the fall. Then we're going to go through the spring. One of the same issues that you're going to have, depending on the trees that you have, is the leaves situation. Me, I got the leaves, got to keep it up. So that's the same thing. You're just dealing with it in the springtime if you have a live oak tree like what I have. So in the spring, I've probably got the best germination. And that's because we have more water available. I got more water, more natural moisture, other than like water that's coming out of this sprinkler system, for example. I know I don't like to sound cliche, but it is what it is when it comes down to stick. Look, that's chlorine in that water. That's chlorine and fluoride. Fluoride is a salt. Microbes hate salt. Chlorine kills bacteria. The grass uses bacteria to grow. So yes, it still germinates, still works. It's just not the best. It can't compare to rainwater. Rainwater is just it's undeniable. Okay, so yes, you have to water, you have to do it, but this water coming out of here is just not even comparable to just regular rainwater. So you got that issue right there. So when you go in the springtime, you got more moisture because of the rain. Temperatures are rising. So it's going to take a while before the temperature get back up into the 80s and the 90s and all that. You got a longer, in my area, I can go from like, just say, January all the way up. It would be June before we get some of those, temperatures and some of those fungus growing temperature. That's almost 6 months. So you have a better chance to get the grass established in the spring because of that. Another issue that you're going to have is spring. I believe I have more spring. It seems that there are more spring weeds than there are winter weeds. It's more, you got the weed pressure, and you can't use anything other than tenacity on it, because if you use something else, it's going to stunt your seed germination and growth. So that's another, the weeds is a big issue with trying to get this stuff established. So in the spring, I like it because it's easier to get it established because of all the rain, but all the other stuff that comes along with it, like the weeds and stuff like that, and you having to fight that. And then it grows faster in the spring than it does in the fall. But I am starting to get some germination. Look, this is on the other side. I kind of like that. I like this germination that I'm getting here. And I got to do something about these skunks. Probably this week, I'm going to try to get some stuff out here to try to get this stuff done. I do have those cages over there. I have those cages in there, and I have two of them. Might have to just go on and try to put bait in there and then catch them all. I had to catch, 1 year I had to deal with the skunk. The last time I had to deal with skunk, I caught, I think 11 or 12, the whole family that was coming out of the house. So I put the cage in front of the hole that they were going in and out of the house with, and there was no other way for them to get out. And I caught one every day for like 10, 11, 12, however many days straight. I had the animal control office coming by here every day getting a skunk out. So you can have up to 10, 12 skunks out here, just one whole family, a whole litter, and the parents out here foraging. I think that's it seems like that's what the deal is. I don't think the armadillos, they don't run in packs. It's not moles because there are tunnels. There's no tunnels out here. So I'm pretty no, it's not moles. I'm pretty sure it's skunks because that's what I've seen on the video camera. And some of them could be those little squirrels over there. But anyway, so now that you got the springtime here and you're getting your germination done, you've dealt with you have to deal with the weed pressure because there's more springtime weeds than there are winter weeds. And now your grass is just not going to be as strong as it can be if you had planted it in the fall to survive the oncoming heat. So that's the big issue right there. So there's different pitfalls on when you're going to have to, when you can plant, and also your success in your seeding. So I have a whole lot of other issues I have to deal with. Like, this is all new. That's new. So I'm still getting some stuff out here. So I got to get a hold of this real quick, because I have to go in and put, even though this is a rhizomatous turf type tile fescue, I'm going in and just throwing seeds off in those holes that keep digging up to try to keep this try to get this stuff together. So of course I got a lot to do out here. I got a lot of work. You got to forgive the disarray that I am in here. I'm still going through a renovation inside the house, but this is outside I'm trying to get together. And the last thing that you have to deal with that's harder in the spring is the amount of rain that you get. If I had all of this out here See how this water, this would be, a lot of this would be seeds in the spring. It would run these sprouts here. It will just flood all of this. And it's hard for me to keep water seeds in the areas because it rains and the water is such, it's a monsoon in the spring. It's too much rain. So now there's got a package here. This package. Man, what is this? Something I ordered. What did I order? So in the spring, when you have, what did I get? Huh. Okay. So guess what this is? This is some liquid iron that I just received from TikTok. So on my TikTok page, I have tried to do the monetization deal where I go ahead and I get a product and I use it, and then you can try to sell it. So some liquid iron came in. I'm going to throw this bad boy down on this grass here. So primarily the grass is already here. This is a 3-year-old turf type tall fescue that I planted. We're going to see how green this turns it. And I have several, you guys already know that I deal with the almighty green and I deal with the feature. Now this simple long solution, I'm going to be able to put this out there for you guys. So anyway, sorry to get that little promo came in because it came unexpectedly. Obviously no tracking because I didn't order it. It just popped up and showed it on my door. And yes, this was free. This is a free sample. This was free. I didn't pay for this. This was given to me just to put that information out there for you. Anyway, that's where we are on the overseeding. And one more thing that I do want to talk to you guys is about another weed control deal. Is, if you can see the little green patches in the middle, that's Bermuda. And I actually sprayed that with glyphosate a few days ago. It takes it a while to kill. So I'm hoping to have that all eradicated by time spring get here. I don't know if I'm going to do another round of it because I got seeds in there and they started to germinate. So I will have to switch over to the triclopyr and fusilade to take it on out. But I want to wait till the grass gets to a certain height. And man, I think that's a new spot right there. Got to get with these skunks for real. Got to get with these skunks. Anyway, that's the story. Y'all watch me subscribe to it. I'm going to be showing this lawn off in a little while. I'm going to be pumping my chest out and bragging for a little bit. So y'all just stay tuned. I'm going to try to be nice with it, but I know it's been a while since I've been doing this stuff. I learned a lot and I'm ready to pass off the information over to you guys, and we'll see you in the next video.